Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Red Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. And my guest today is Shawn Snyder, and she'll be joining us in just a moment. When I'm not hosting TV shows, which is every Thursday, I do 3 back-to-back-to-back. And what I do primarily is I'm a researcher. I research the human body at the cellular level, chemically speaking. I look for cause and effect relationships. Treat a cause, fix a problem. Treat symptoms, and you'll always be treating symptoms, and the cause could get worse. I research primarily in the areas of longevity and anti-aging and age-related diseases. I have a new book coming out here in just a couple, 3 months this summer called Aging Sucks, and it's based on the hallmarks of health, the hallmarks of aging, and the patterns, pathways of disease. And I'll be talking about what accelerates, what decelerates the aging process, and what keeps you healthy. Let's see, let's go ahead and start with Shawn. Please join me up here on stage.
Hi, Red.
Howdy. Good to see you again. I see you once or twice a week, it seems like.
Yes.
Shawn and I are on the same, we're on a particular connectors network here in the Houston area. And there's much of different entrepreneurs, but I've been enamored here lately because she's been involved in the tea business for a while. And I said, why don't you join me on stage and we'll talk about your business, see what we can do. So let's start. What's your background before you get involved with tea?
My background is I'm a mom and a gardener, and I love playing with different types of herbs and creating different things.
Okay, so from the herb background, you got involved with teas. You don't plant your own tea plants.
So I only use herbs to make teas, and I do plant and bring in some, but I just, I do a lot of ordering now because I can't create and grow enough on my property.
So how long you been owning the tea business?
It's a little over a year old. And we just started doing farmers markets in the area because I wanted to see if people were interested in the herbal teas. And there was a great demand for them. And so we decided to start a business with it. Okay, so you're supply and demand. You found a need, a demand, and you're trying to fill that supply. That's a typical business solution. What initial difficulties did you have just trying to figure out, is this going to be something that I can make money at? Well, the very first thing I had to do was learn how to create the teas. What I did is I started growing peppermint, and anyone who knows the peppermint plant knows that it produces a lot in a short amount of time. So I brought it in and I'm like, okay, what do I do with it? And so I just started learning, taking some classes on different things I can do with the herbs to create blended teas, because that's what we sell is blended teas. There's at least 3 different herbs, up to 15 different herbs in each different blend. Okay, and so just learning. So you're blending a tea. What is your base tea? Well, it really depends. The base is usually a peppermint or a lemon balm or a tulsi or something like that, because they really go well with the other herbs or fruits. This time of year, we're starting our fruit herbal teas, strawberry hibiscus and peach mango, things like that. So, okay. What I meant to say, do you use a white tea, a green tea, a black tea as your base? No, sir. No, all we use is herbs. We don't
Oh,
use any of the tea plant.
okay. So it's a tea because it's brewed and steeped as if it were tea, but it's really peppermint and a combination of things.
Right. Now, if we were over in Europe or something like that, they call it tisane over there because it's just made of herbs. But we over here in the United States, if you brew it, steep it, then it's called a tea. If you, I tried to educate people about the word tisane, and it just created a roadblock. So we just called it tea, and that makes everybody happy. We use herbal teas.
Interesting. I've seen the word Taizan in fact, right here, I have 6 different teas in there, but my teas are tea, not
Right.
necessarily a herb. And you've educated me because I was under the misimpression. We talk about it every week when we're on our networking events, and I think, okay, tea, tea, tea. Okay, I'm thinking tea, and she's thinking Taizan. Okay, so now we're aligned. Now we're on railroad track. Okay. Thanks. That clarifies a lot of things because now I'm thinking, okay, why are you doing that? Okay. So now it makes all the sense in the world.
Okay, good.
Okay. So my teas are tea. I use white,
Yes.
black, green, oolong, pochong, pu'er, and gynostema. Those are my standard 7 that's what I don't have a pochong in this one, but those are the ones I use all the time. But I use them for particular reasons because there's aspects of each one of those teas for longevity that there's a benefit from. So from that perspective, that's why I drink tea. Years ago it was Coca-Cola. You know, then when I finally decided to get off that in the mid '90s, uh, that was a big deal. I went on Atkins and lost a lot of weight, lost a lot of inches, and fell in love with tea. Prior to that, not. But I don't know that I've ever had a herbal tea, to be quite honest. I like a lot of what you're talking about. Chamomile, is that considered a
Mhm.
okay? I've had
Yeah.
chamomile.
So
Uh,
the beautiful thing about herbal teas, Red, is they are natural. They were put on this planet and they can help heal your body. And that's how I got involved in herbal tea. I have an autoimmune disease, and I just started taking classes and learning about if there is something wrong with your body, there is an herb that can help you. And just educating yourself and finding that herb is the exciting part of it. Chamomile, allergy season is going crazy right now here where we live. And chamomile tea is a beautiful tea to help reduce the reactions that your body has. And if you drink enough of the tea, I have a client and he can drink 2 to 4 cups of tea, chamomile tea a day, and he has stopped taking all of his allergy medicine, his over-the-counter allergy medicine from that. So that's really exciting. There's another a willow bark, and willow bark used to be in aspirin. That's what they created aspirin from, and I still use it for pain relief. In January, I had a wound, and I used that willow bark tea, and it really helped my body to feel better. It helped relieve the pain that I was under.
Allergies are an interesting topic. I remember one day I was flying, and a magazine in the airplane talked about fresh frozen bee pollen and treating
Mhm.
allergies. And I had been to the doctor 3 times in 3 years, and I'm sitting there in his office a week or two earlier than this. And I look at my chart, and I've been there literally the same week, and a week different in 3 different years. And I was having sinusitis and all. And I'm saying, Doc, is this thing possibly seasonal allergies? And he looks at it, and yeah, more than likely. Don't know why he couldn't pick that up prior to that. But anyway, so I'm reading this article and it talks about fresh frozen bee pollen. You get it from your local bees, just like you have there in the teas and everything. And the bees are basically humming around all the plants. And so the bee pollen, if you take, I mean, really a little amount, quarter teaspoon a day, and I took it for literally a year. And the one time about 10 months in, I started, quarter tablespoon is not much. Let me double it up. And then all of a sudden I started getting the sinusitis effects again. But spring came again and I had no allergies. and it was all I credit with the bee pollen. So whether it's bee pollen or tea or a couple other things, there's a lot of natural options out there. So what do you do? How do you research your natural options?
Well, I do a lot of classes. I'm not an herbalist. I don't claim to be an herbalist or a doctor or anything like that. But just doing some research and doing classes, being involved in groups of other people who know these different herbs, and we can, what works for us. And then I don't release a tea until I've created it and we take it. I even make my husband drink some tea, and how you feel and things like that. So it's important to know how it affects your body and to keep track of it. Like you were saying, what you have is, you're noticing year after year at the same time, this is how your body's reacting. And then you figured out how to treat that. And that's what you do with these different herbs. Um, there's different recipes out there that you can follow, and then just creating what would work to help your body as well.
So how long does this test process go on before you decide, okay, this is I could stand behind this tea because I know it well enough.
Yeah, I usually we work on like a monthly program or calendar, if you will. Um, with any new tea that comes in, number one, I need to make it taste as well as I can, and then how does it affect the body? Learn about the herbs, just doing research that way. And then as you put it together and drink it, this is what I can say it does for me. That's how we present it to our customers.
So it's your personal testimonial based on at least 30 days, which is usually
Yes,
the minimum amount of time. It's either going to get better, it's going to get worse, or it's going to stay the same in usually
right.
about a 10-day frame. But if you're doing it for 20, 30 days, then whatever you have is pretty much consistent, statistically speaking.
Yeah. And that's a good thing to mention is because different batches of herbs, even if it's the same herb, if it's a different batch, it can react differently. It can make your tea taste differently. It can, create just different things. So, being aware of your batches is important as well.
Okay, let's talk about a mint, just to pick a particular
Okay.
one. Okay, so you go out and you harvest mint,
Hmm.
and so you have a couple acres of land or whatever out there that you're growing your own mint.
Hmm.
So you're constantly replenishing that supply or planting them so that they're all maturing down the road. So you have a constant supply. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
Okay. So now you have this row or this section of mint that's ready to go into your process. So tell us about what do? You go out there, you've been watering, you've been giving all these plants the love you that they can have. Now it's time to rip them out of the ground. What do you tell us what happens?
We go out there and we just trim the plant down so there's at least an inch or two still standing because I want it to come back. I don't want to rip it out, but so we trim it down, we bring it in, we wash it, several different washings, and then we lay it out. Some is dried in a dehydrator, and others, is just air dried. And so after it becomes dried, then I put it in some bottles and wait for whatever tea I'm going to make, wait for that to happen.
Okay, so you remove these stems and things like that. We have just the basic leaves. Is that right?
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. So I have the leaves. They've been dehydrated, and when you add water to them, they become a tea.
Right. So now what we just talked about, if it's just plain peppermint, you can make a peppermint tea from that. I don't like to do that because I like to bring other herbs in. Um, it's what we call a tea triangle, kind of comes like this. And so if you think of the bottom, that's the base. And so for this tea, it would be peppermint. And then we're going to make a tea called Calm and Refresh. So my middle section of the triangle is going to have some lemon balm in it. That's going to create the relaxing part of the tea. The peppermint is kind of it's works with headaches and things like that. And then the very tip of the triangle, I put Tulsi in. So there's my tea triangle. I've got 3 different herbs to create a blend. The bottom is the peppermint, the middle is the lemon balm, and the very top is the Tulsi. Bring that in and combined it together. And that has created my peppermint calm and refresh tea.
Okay, so through your research, you figured out you need this amount of lemon balm, this amount of Tulsi, this amount of peppermint. And so
Right.
you experiment. Is this by weight? Is that what that is by?
Amount.
Okay. So like a cup of
Yeah,
this.
it's really hard.
So it's more of
Some
a volume issue than it is a weight issue.
Right, correct.
Okay. So now you're not necessarily experimenting around, but you're networking with other people and going to classes. So you know that, well, if I add chamomile to this, it's going to help this particular aspect of the body. And so now,
Right.
so how do you find your clients that want this particular calm and relaxation tea?
So it's just where we go. Like I said, we go to the farmer markets. That's been my home base. That's where people have discovered us. They love us. I've got a tea that only runs during the spring and the summer. It's my strawberry hibiscus. And I've got people from California emailing me like, when are you going to release this tea? So it's just running into people and explaining the benefits of the tea. I have a website, simplyherbaltea.com, and you can go on there and see over 20 different teas that we carry. And, that's how we run into people is just, I can talk about tea with anybody.
Okay, so you have the land out there, you have different rows with different things growing on them. So you're subject to the weather. And so when we're in a drought situation like we've been here in the Houston area for a while, you are required to go out and take care of your plants, give them love. So what happens when the freezes and we don't have too many hailstones around here, but we do have some nasty weather periodically. How do
We do.
how do you survive that kind of situation?
So we do, pull the crop, at the end of the year. Number one, in Texas, the heat kills off more than the cold for us. And I can't produce all of the herbs myself, so I will order them. There's a lot of great farms, organic farms down in the Southwest, and up in Utah are a couple of the United States farms that I use for the different herbs that I can't produce.
I've been in some tent cities with the military, various exercises I've been on, and some places get well over 100, and we found that you just put a tarp up, not necessarily a tarp, but it's a camouflage netting, and literally it drops the temperature 20 degrees. It's unreal. You're in the shade all the time rather than the sun, and then you have the breeze coming in underneath it. So we would take our tents and we put the shading on top of it, and that would really reduce that area. And I've done that several times. I'm even thinking about doing it here at my home for a particular area that I want to kind of control a little bit better. But that might be an area where you have something that might need extra attention. I'm not sure whether you can get a military excess kind of thing online or whatever, but if that might be an option just to think about.
Right. Well, we do strategically put different types of tarps over. I don't have a greenhouse, but I have like a 3-season little coop area, and stick the plants in there that are really suffering from the heat, cucumbers, things like that. But the herbs are kind of, they're tough, they can take all kinds of weather.
Well, we're getting ready to go to commercial break here in just a brief moment. When we come back, I want to talk about how do you control the pests, because they're going to be out there, and I think that's something you probably mastered already. So let's go to commercial break. We'll be back in a minute or so, and we'll continue down this road.
Get ready to wear the brand that's changing the world of media. Introducing the official USA Global TV and Radio online store. From our TV show hosts to our incredible global guests, you asked, we delivered. Rep your appearance with pride. Whether you've been on air, hosted a show, or tuned in, we have something just for you. Visit us at usaglobaltvradioshoop.myspreadshop.com and start shopping today. Check back frequently. We're dropping fresh new designs all the time. Showcase your role in our global community. These designs celebrate your voice, your story, your presence. It's more than just merchandise. It's a movement of hope, inspiration, education, and elevated listening. Head to usaglobaltvradioshoop.myspreadshop.com. Your spotlight awaits. USA Global TV and Radio. Elevate your style. Elevate the world.
Howdy all, Red O'Loughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My guest today is Shawn Snyder. We both live here in the local Houston area. She is an expert on tea, not the kind of tea you're thinking about, herbal teas, different animal. And so, Shawn, please join me back if you're on stage. Okay, so you protect the weak ones with the summer heat here, which some summers can get pretty nasty. But how do you protect against the little crawly things?
We do that with companion planting. We do a lot of onions. Any type of onion around different herbs will help keep plants pests out. Also, different types of flowers, if you will. The pests don't care for the smell, and that will keep them out. I don't think that I don't do any tarping or any tool with any type of herb. I just use the different plants and different types of flowers to help discourage the insects from visiting us.
I know my local fertilizer place down here sells a bag of ladybugs. And so you can buy ladybugs and just kind of put them out, and they're pretty good at some things like that.
Yes.
Aphids and whatever. But you don't spray anything, so everything you have is pretty much kept organic, right?
Yes, we're very big on being organic as much as we can. All herbs are organic, like with fruits. Now, we buy most of our fruit for our teas from the farmers market, but I can't not guarantee what happened to them before they got to the farmers market, so I can't call that organic. But all the herbs that we use are organic herbs.
Yeah. I just got interrupted by a note. Get my mind back to thinking. Okay, so you're organic as best you can be. So
yes,
whatever fruit's available, that's what you have for that particular season, and you're dependent on the market to provide that level of supply to you. So when the market is over for plums, for instance, that's it for that particular time of year.
Yes, much to my husband's disappointment, his favorite tea is called Plum Delicious, and we just it's a great fall tea because it uses a lot of cinnamon and things like that, and he loves it. But I told him, I'm like, we're getting to the end of what we have available for the season. So yeah, we try to keep local fruits with what is available in that season. That's why I have people waiting for the strawberry hibiscus, is because the strawberries are just coming out. We're just getting them and getting them ready for our customers.
But we have such an industrial capacity. We see strawberries literally 12 months a year. Oranges almost 12 months a year. Plums, not so much. I go in. My granddaughter at one point in time was into plums big time, and she wanted the black ones or this one or that, whatever. And I could find them for a while, and then they were gone. So obviously, you have supply and demand issues there too. But when you're looking at typically, I'm going to the farmer's market tomorrow to see what they have and to buy something. So you buy a quantity of whatever that. How long is that quantity going to last you with regard to your business before you need to go back and get more?
It just depends on the tea. what sells, and you never know, so we bring in, a good supply, but I could bring home most of it, or I can sell out. You just never know who you're going to meet that day at a farmer's market. So you always need to be prepared, bring more than what you think you're going to need.
Okay, so you buy, let's say, pears or peaches or plums or whatever. You're going to put them in a dehydrator, and you're going to do a similar process with them.
Yes.
So how long does a typical dehydration process take?
Right. It depends. So like I just got done running a batch of ginger. Ginger doesn't take very long, it's just several hours. Where if I'm going to do apples, that will take, 10 hours, to run. So, and you got to be careful with the running of the dehydrator, because you don't want to run it too hot, because then the fruit just doesn't taste good. But you need to get it dried out. So it's really careful with, and there's a lot of information out there online on, okay, for apples, run them for like 10 hours, so there's lots of information you can find online. And then just learning your dehydrator, learning where to place it, don't have it up against the wall and up against the fridge, bring it out so it has good airflow. And, once you learn your tools, you have a better handle on how long things need to run in the dehydrator.
Okay, so you buy apples. Apples tend to have some kind of coating on the outside. How do you get rid of that coating?
We put it in vinegar water and scrub them. I was peeling them, and then I did some research, and most, all the goodness is in the peel. So we leave the peels on them. We do a firm scrub in a vinegar water and rinse that off, and then we slice them up and put them on the dehydrator.
What's the most difficult tea that you make?
Well, it's difficult. It's called the Women's Daily Tea Tonic. And what makes that difficult is I have probably about 12 different herbs in it. And these herbs, I probably won't remember all 12, but there's nettle, there's oak straw, there's elderberry. There's just these different things. And what it does is works within a woman's system and just helps the woman's system to run smoothly. And that's difficult, because just trying to make sure to always have the different herbs that I need for that tea always available.
Okay, so you primarily deal with the farmer's market, but you can also address the issue of being able to mail out stuff to California or China or anywhere in the world, just depending on what the cost is, so you get your return on your investment.
Right.
I know we're talking about your packaging. You've done some experiments with that. Let's talk about packaging. How do you get involved with what kind of package do I really need to show who I own this product and it represents me?
So we just use the just the I can show you.
Okay.
So we use packaging like this. Now this is my smallest. This is a little sample pack. And so it's like this. We just get the bigger packaging, and they hold anywhere from 1 to 2 ounces. And that doesn't sound like a lot until it's just, tea leaves. So 1 to 2 ounces is quite a bit. And then, so that would be our large, and then we have a medium, and then the small, like what you just saw. And we just put our labels on there. And I love doing it this way, because I can say, okay, I only need 10 of these for, Plum Delicious tea. And we can make the packaging up, because per law, you have to have on the back what is in the packaging and the different things that I'm using to create the tea. And I like to be able to, okay, I only need 10, so I can make up that 10 for those, and I don't have to totally create new packaging, just new labels.
Okay, so you have a standard package for different sizes. you create the label to go with whatever the product is. And so you sell it locally, and you can also sell it online or over the mail system.
Yes.
What lessons learned have you since you started packaging that says, I'll never do that again?
I was using plastic because of cost, and my customers rebelled, because they want to have they don't want plastics in their diet. They don't want plastics touching their food, their tea, and I was zeroing in on the wrong thing, and I needed to listen to my customers. And that was a lesson that I learned, is that I am dealing with people that are concerned about their health, and they don't want things like plastic involved. So that was probably the biggest thing I learned.
Yeah, it's interesting. Microplastics is an issue, and every day I don't have a bottle of water here, but bottled water you think is pretty safe because it's been distilled and filtered and everything. But the microplastics in there from the plastic itself is horrendous. Quite a few months ago, I bought a couple filters that filter out microplastics. So I have a transition. Once I did some study on it, says I don't know that I want that. And so what you've done is you've listened to your customers, which is great. That's a good business owner's decision, and you've come up with a solution for that. What is your plan for expansion? Do you have one?
Yeah, we have a subscription where people can come in and sign up for our subscription. It's called our Tea Teasers monthly box. And what they get is 3 of these little teas, different teas every month, come into their home, and we create the different information so they can learn about the tea, how to take the tea, what's in the tea. And then we also have a tracker. You and I talked earlier about what is going on in our bodies, paying attention. And this tracker is great because you can write down, okay, well, I took this tea at this time and I feel this way, and in an hour I felt this way. So just paying attention to what's going on in your body from the tea. And then if we have a little bit of fun there with the sticker, and you're also going to get the newest updates on any type of classes or anything that we provide. So that is how we're growing, is with our subscription.
Okay. So I have this little tea thing, 1 or 2 ounces. I rip the top off. I just take a pinch and put it into hot water, or is there a certain amount, tablespoon, or what?
So we sell loose leaf tea. So you're going to need some sort of an infuser or a press or a tea bag. And if you only want to make 1 cup, you'll need 1 to 2 teaspoons of herbs of the tea blend in there. And that makes, for the most part, a great cup of tea. It depends on what tea you have. Now, if you're just dealing with leaves, you can probably only steep it in, warm water for a minute or 2. But if you have a tea, we have a tea called dandelion, and that's a root. And so if you want to do that tea, you're going to want to steep it for 10, 15 minutes so the water can go in, absorb everything that the root has, and brings it back down into your cup. So you get the benefit of that root for your tea. So it just depends on what you're drinking, on how long to let it steep.
I use 6 or 7 different teas all the time, and I heat my water up to 180 degrees, and I put in there generally 10 minutes, no less than 8, but at least 10. Sometimes it goes longer. But I find that gives me a pretty good taste, and the tea lasts literally 24 hours. I don't put it in the refrigerator. Maybe at night I might put a couple ice cubes in there just to bring it down a little bit so it lasts through the night. But the tea, sometimes, if it's there, I'm talking about real tea, not the herbal tea. So I know there's problems there. But from a herbal tea perspective, is there a time concern with how long a pitcher of tea can be healthy?
So the beautiful thing about herbal tea is you can drink it hot or cold. And if you drink anything hot, it can last you an afternoon. Now, if you want to drink it cold, put it in a pitcher and stick it in the refrigerator and drink from it until, we make it for gallons. I've got 2 gallons sitting in the fridge in the kitchen, and, we can go through it in a week. It would be a normal, you couldn't stay for a month because it would go probably bad. You would probably see some mold along the edges or something like that. But it can easily last a week.
So most of what you sell at the farmer's market is dry. You don't sell any liquid products.
Not at this time. We do all, it's all dry, yes.
But you do have samples for people to taste tea?
Yeah, we bring a different sample every week. And it's so funny because just the people's ideal of, herbal tea, that doesn't taste very, doesn't sound very good, but I can usually get them because we never add sugar. And if I can bring like a tea that has a fruit in it, it's naturally sweet, and they're just amazed. I hook their kids, get their kids to bring their mom and dad and try it, and it's really fun to watch that.
It's that point in time in our show. We're getting ready to wrap things up. What have I not asked you that I should have asked you you really want the world to know about?
I really want the world to know about the herbal teas and how it can help your body feel better. It's so amazing to me how we can take a plant that comes from the ground and put some hot water on it and drink it, and it can make your body feel better. Now, it just depends on what's wrong and which herb you're going to use. That's the fun part, is doing that discovery. That's what I like to do. That's what got me involved. And then drinking it and feeling better.
Well, now the next time I go to the store and I see guava or pomegranate or gardenia or whatever it happens to be, it's a herbal tea. I know that it's not tea that I'm used to. So from my perspective, you educated me very well, and I appreciate that tremendously.
Great.
How do people get in touch with you if they want to order something? You just send them to your website?
Yeah, it's simplyherbaltea.com. And you can find our shop there. You can find a host of different things. You can find the subscription box there. It's called Tea Teasers Monthly Club. So that's the best way. Social media is Simply Herbal Tea as well.
Okay, so for our audio audience that may not be looking at our screen right now, Simply, SIMPLY, Herbal, HERBALTEA.com/shop. Shawn, fantastic time today. I learned a lot. Thank you so very much. I really appreciate that. I look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you. We'll see you in a while.
Well, we'll probably see you tonight. I'm not sure if you're on tonight's show or not. So I look forward to seeing you tonight.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, Shawn, take care, and we'll catch you in a little bit. We had a wonderful talk today with Shawn Snyder on tea, not the tea that I think of when I hear of tea, but herbal teas, which are actually made from herbs and fruits and other vegetables, etc. So they actually take not the tea like green, black, or white tea that my mind constantly thinks about, but actual herbs, peppermint, spearmint, licorice, whatever it may happen to be. And you get the actual leaves or the essence of those particular plants. So from that perspective, I thought it was educational for me, especially because it's one of those things I love to learn about health and aspects of the body. Next year, in literally about less than a minute, I'm going to be on a show called Talking Heads. Today's talk is following along the same lines of diet and stress and exercise and sleep and how it affects our health and our aging. But today I'm looking primarily at consistency. The basic lifestyle choices, the diet and the rest of those carry are fine, but consistency is the one that actually makes them work. So I'll be talking today about consistency and how that affects your health and your aging. So I look forward to joining you again next week. We have 3 shows starting 11 a.m. Central Time, noon, and 1 o'clock Central. So take care of you all, and we'll catch you next week. Bye now.
In a noisy world, true connection begins with listening. Elevated listening transforms every conversation in just 5 simple steps. Pause and breathe. Set your intention. Listen with curiosity. Reflect back. Agree on one next step. Join the Listening Mentor on Let's Finally Talk with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the Listening Mentor, where we help you find inner peace, one conversation at a time. Streaming every day. Let's Finally Talk TV show with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, only here on USA, Global TV and Radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channels to watch and engage with all our content.
My Tummy Hurts by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends, and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. And Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, a kid's guide to bellyaches and bathroom troubles by Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USA-Global-TV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.